Welcome to Wckn News. My name is Bryce Bandish.
And my name's Jacob McNamara.
Tonight, we start with news out of Google. As of February 19th, Google announced in a post on its blog that it's exploring plans to expand its new high-speed internet, Google Fiber. With plans set to explore development in 9 U.S. cities, the firm plans to leverage its success found in the service's initial launch in Kansas City, Austin, and Provo. Among the candidates are Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Phoenix, Portland, Raleigh-Durham, Salt Lake, and San Antonio and San Jose. The success of the service follows its launch in 2012 can be characterized by delivering internet speeds over 100 times faster than most current high-speed networks, and 1 gigabit per second. To put that in perspective, the speed is capable of downloading an entire music album in under 6 seconds, or an entire feature film in 38 seconds. The benefits of the new service stretch further than just its high speed. Following the launch of the service in Kansas City, the new internet speed capabilities spurred several startups to the city, with intentions to level innovation. Google intends to publish a list of cities applicable for the service, as not all areas are conducive to the technology. With such an enticing advancement, city mayors from across the country have been calling for private partnerships to boost their local connections.
Facebook announced on Wednesday that it was purchasing WhatsApp for $16 billion, plus an additional $3 billion in stock grants. The $19 billion deal values about 10% of Facebook's total market value. WhatsApp has an extremely active base of 450 million people, and it has the potential to help Facebook infiltrate emerging markets. Breaking it down, Facebook paid about $42 per active WhatsApp user, while its own active Facebook users are worth about $140 each, approximately. Analysts seem cautiously open-minded when it comes to WhatsApp, giving Facebook time to prove its plan, though they still think the price was a bit too high. Martin Garner, Senior Vice President and Telecommunication Analyst Firm for CCS Insight, said that the $19 billion purchase for such a young company without a fully developed business model is without precedent. The purchase price has been undoubtedly heavily influenced by Facebook's defensive mindset and a desire to ensure WhatsApp didn't fall into the hands of a competitor. Other firms, such as Stern G, recognize that WhatsApp is a threat to operators for offering people around the world a cheaper version of SMS. The logic seems to be around Facebook taking over the global mobile messaging market, which is currently estimated to be worth more than $100 billion. Now Facebook has possession of one of the most promising assets, as WhatsApp messaging volume is already nearly on par with the global SMS telecom volume. Now Facebook has a significant opportunity to be the leading global communications utility, says analysts at RBC Capital Markets.
Kickstarter, the fundraising platform used by millions of people to raise capital for creative projects and businesses, said last weekend that hackers had gained access to some of its customers' data, but that the breach had been repaired. The customer started in 2009 as a path for financing in various projects such as films and restaurants. Contributors on Kickstarter are often compensated with rewards, discounts, credits, or other offers from the various projects that they help fund. Since its introduction, Kickstarter has helped to fund more than 100,000 projects, with hundreds of millions of pledged dollars. Recent data breaches at Target and Neiman Marcus have raised concerns amongst the public and lawmakers over who should be responsible for the costs of customer losses and how to improve security online. Kickstarter, which was informed by the breach by the law enforcement officials, said it was working with law enforcement officials and that it has ramped up its security in recent days. Kickstarter's chief executive, Yancey Strickler, wrote, "No credit card data of any kind was accessed by hackers." He also noted that the company's website does not store credit card data. According to Kickstarter, the information that was compromised, including usernames, mailing addresses, phone numbers, and encrypted passwords. They also said that the only 2 user accounts showed evidence of any unauthorized activity. Although the passwords were not revealed, people with computer expertise could still decipher the encrypted passwords, and Kickstarter encourages users to change their account passwords.
The dollar slipped to its lowest level against other major currencies since the beginning of the year on Monday due to stronger economic figures out of the Eurozone and China. The dollar index dropped as low as 80.065, while the euro reached a 3-week high of 1.37245. Figures last Friday showed that the U.S. manufacturing output fell unexpectedly in January. This prompted some to question whether the Federal Reserve will slow the rate at which it cuts back its giant bond-buying stimulus. Weaker than expected Japanese gross domestic product data allowed the dollar to trade slightly up to 101.89 yen. Peter Kinsella, strategist with Commerce Bank in London, said the data have not been soft enough for the Federal Reserve to slow its tapering, but warned that a fall in the stock market could hurt the dollar against the yen. Japan's economy grew less than expected in the fourth quarter of last year as consumer spending, business investments, and exports disappointed before a planned sales tax increase. Investors initially reacted by buying the yen, typically seen as a safe haven against the dollar, but Kinsella said the numbers were distorted by imports and were misleading. Adam Cole, head of G10 FX strategy at RBC Capital, said the dollar could fall to 97 yen per dollar over the next 2 to 3 months. But Cole added with that, once we get nearer to the first Fed tightening, there is scope for the dollar-yen to rise. The euro rose 0.2% against the yen to 139.67 yen, as data revealed that both Germany and France grew faster than expected in the fourth quarter of last year. We'll return after this break with national news and the weather. Stay tuned.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Welcome back. We continue with a bit of celebrity news. After being on The Voice for 4 seasons, Judge CeeLo Green has decided not to come back. This came as a surprise to most people. Green is going on tour with Lionel Richie this year and was on leave from the show. Most thought he would return to the show after the tour, but he said his days on The Voice are over. Green continued to say that he did not want to overstay his welcome on the show and that there are many things he has been wanting to do. Green has not released a CD in 4 years and is in the process of finishing up a new CD. Green is also hoping to continue his relationship with NBC. In the fall, he could be doing a talk show for them, and he also has a TV deal with the network. Green has been on a schedule coming up with the release of a new CD and on tour with Lionel Richie. But all of this might have to be moved and held off if he is convicted of a felony charge from 2012. Green is facing a felony drug charge, and if convicted, he could face up to 4 years in prison. He has denied the allegations, and it looks like he will have to wait and see what the outcome is going to be. But one thing is for sure. His days at The Voice are over.
Last week, a gas well explosion sparked a fire that burned for more than 3 days in Greene County, Pennsylvania. Chevron, the operator of this natural gas well, came to the conclusion that free pizza and soda was the best way to give their compensation to the area residents. An employee at the local Bobtown Pizza confirmed that the corporation purchased hundreds of gift certificates for area residents in order to compensate them for the disaster. The community has much to be compensated for the disaster, claimed the life of one worker and injured another. Not to mention the fact that the gas is still being emitted into the atmosphere to this day. Members of the community are not taking to the outreach by Chevron well, claiming worst apology ever, sorry our fracking well exploded, here's a free pizza. The explosion is still under investigation as the causes of the crash remain unknown. Many residents, however, aren't looking for more delicious handouts, but rather a formal explanation from the company as to the events that have transpired in their community. This explanation, however, is yet to come.
A 42-year-old Mississippi woman was shocked to find out when she got to the hospital that she was actually delivering quadruplets. Having expected to be delivering triplets, according to the spokesperson for the Mississippi Medical Center, the mother and her 4 baby girls are doing well. The mother, Kim Fugate, had a completely natural pregnancy free from IVF and fertility drugs. Hearing that her and her husband were expecting triplets via natural pregnancy was a shock in itself for the couple. Kim was taken into hospital when her early labor began. Her due date was set for May 2nd, but went into labor on February 8th. She delivered 3 babies, each weighing over 2 pounds each. Kim then heard her doctor say, "There are more feet." The university center came, and the odds of spontaneous quadruplets are 1 in 729,000. But in Fugate's case, the odds are even smaller because their girls split from a single egg, meaning the siblings are identical. The statement said, one expert put one of the odds at 1 in 13 million. The Clarion Ledger said it spoke to Kim's physician, James Beaufil, who said that discovering a 4th baby during the delivery was a first in his 27-year career. "I was very embarrassed, obviously," the newspaper quoted him saying.
In New York news, Governor Cuomo wants to give prison inmates the chance to earn a college degree. If the request is granted, the inmates will be able to earn an associate's or bachelor's degree. Right now, it costs approximately $60,000 a year to hold a person, and in order to give a college education to the inmates, will cost another $5,000 per year. This might seem like a small amount of money to pay to keep prisoners out of jail, but a lot of people are upset over the idea. Why should prisoners get a free college education when the working class has to pay for it? This is the question of many taxpayers. Some taxpayers feel instead of spending money on the inmates, the money should be spent on the working class to help educate them before the inmates. Others are for the idea of educating the inmates. Anthony Cardinales was in prison for 16 years. While in prison, he earned a degree from Bard College. He said the education helped him be successful and was released from prison, and Anthony supports the idea of having every inmate having the opportunity to gain a college education. The state will send out requests for proposals soon and respond to them accordingly.
The FBI said last Sunday that they were in contact with local police in a Pennsylvania town regarding the case of a self-proclaimed Satanist teen. The teen claimed last Friday that she has murdered more than 22 other people and admitted to stabbing a man near to death in November. 19-year-old Miranda Barbour made the bizarre and disturbing revelation in an interview with the Daily Item from the Columbia County Jail. She confessed that she fatally stabbed Troy LaFera, 42, and said he was one of many victims in several states. She told the Sunbury, Pennsylvania newspaper that most of the people she murdered were in Alaska and claimed, "I can pinpoint on a map where you can find them." Barbour also told the Daily Item that she started murdering people shortly after she joined a Satanistic cult in Alaska at the age of 16. Barbour went on to say that she wanted to admit to the killings because if I were to be released, I would do it again. The Sunbury Police Department in Columbia County Jail declined to comment Sunday. FBI spokeswoman Carrie Adwowski told NBC News on Friday the FBI's Philadelphia division has recently been in contact with the Sunbury Police Department regarding Miranda Barbour and will offer any assistance requested in the case. Barbour, along with her husband, Alith Barbour, originally pled not guilty to staying in La Ferrara. La Ferrara was strangled from behind while Miranda stabbed him over 20 times, after luring him into a car with an ad for sex on Craigslist. Barbour said she believes she killed only bad people and has no regrets. La Ferrara's body was found dumped in an alley in Sunbury.
That's a little messed up, Bryce. Current young and middle-aged adults are being hit severely by the effects of the flu this season. There have been a greater rise in the deaths and hospitalizations than other age groups, according to the U.S. health officials. Traditionally, the flu affects children and the elderly the hardest. However, adults under the age of 65 account for 61% of the hospitalizations so far seen this season. This is an increase from 35% last year. The young and middle-aged adult group also accounts for 60% of deaths this season, up from the 47% last year and the 18% 3 years ago. Center for Disease Control Director Tom Frieden said in a statement that younger people may feel that influenza is not a threat to them, but this season underscores the flu can be a serious disaster for anyone. It is also important to remember that some people who get vaccinated may still get sick, and that we need to use our second line of defense against the flu, antiviral drugs to treat flu illness. Of Americans that did not get a flu shot this year, cut their risk of getting ill by 60%. The virus dominating the current season is H1N1, which is responsible for the swine flu. It first emerged with the swine flu outbreak in 2009, putting many adults in doctors' offices and hospitals. For the week ending February 8th, flu and pneumonia were the cause of 8.4% of all deaths in the U.S., according to CDC's weekly influenza report. The peak of the flu season appears to be over in more of the country.
Now let's take a look at what's in store for weather this week. If you have for some reason been enjoying the warmer weather we have been having, I hate to break it to you, but colder weather is on its way. For the next week, we'll be hovering in the mid-teens while the low will be dropping below zero. There is not a high chance of snow, but this is Potsdam, so you should expect some sort of precipitation. Sports is coming up next after this break.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
With the Olympics still in full swing, many are watching the hockey games that just occurred. Going into the quarterfinals, most people saw the Russians as a medal contender and thought home fans would win it all on home soil. In the past few Olympics, the Russians have been struggling to win a gold medal in the sport that means so much to their country. Before the Soviet Union broke up, they were a powerhouse and always in it for a gold medal. But ever since the breakup of the Soviet Union, Russia has not been able to finish and get that gold medal. Before the Soviet Union broke up, the team won in 7 of the 9 appearances, and in 1992, a team put together of the Soviet republics won gold. But ever since Russia came to be, the team has come up empty. Even though Russia always looks like they're a great team on paper, something seems to happen to them in the Olympics. In the past 5 Olympics, the closest they have come to winning a gold medal has been a silver medal in 1998 at Nagano. In 2002, they got a bronze. Since 2002, the team has not had a medal at all, and all of their supporters think it's time for a gold medal is due. Unfortunately, the time was not in Sochi on their home soil. We will have to wait another 4 years to see if the Russians can get together and return to the top of the podium. The United States men's hockey team lost to Canada in a brutal 1-0 match, putting the U.S. team on the bronze medal track. U.S. women's hockey team lost to Canada as well in overtime, giving the U.S. women's hockey team the silver medal.
To say this was a good weekend for the Golden Knights is an understatement. It kicked off with the men's basketball team beating SLU on Tuesday night. Then they followed with 2 more wins this weekend against Bard College and Vassar College. The women's team lost a tough battle in overtime to SLU on Tuesday night, but came back beating Bard College on Friday. The swim team closed off their season with a bang, competing in the UNYSCA Championship this past weekend. The men took 10th place and the women 14th and were favored to finish strong. After cancellation last weekend, the Nordic ski team is competing in the USCSA Regionals. The men's hockey team clinched home ice for the playoffs this weekend after losing to Union and tying RPI. And last but certainly not least, the women's hockey team took home 2 wins this weekend. After the win in overtime on Saturday night, the Lady Knights won the ECAC League title for the first time in Clarkson history. More importantly, they will host the ECAC tournament at Shield in 2 weekends. Take a couple hours out of your weekend to come support the women when they make history.
Going Going back to international news, a 75-year-old South Australian man has been detained in North Korea for distributing religious materials, leaving diplomats scrambling to prevent a potentially lengthy detention in the secretive regime. John Short, a veteran Christian missionary who has been working in Asia for 50 years, was caught with religious pamphlets which had been translated into Korean. According to his wife Karen, John has not been allowed to leave since police started questioning him on Sunday. As he has no diplomatic presence in the Pyongyang, the Australian government is powerless to help him directly. Instead, it is using its embassy in Seoul and relying on Swedish officials in the North Korean capital to check on the South Australians' well-being. John is still in Korea in detention and will be questioned as why he was carrying Korean-language Christian materials, Mrs. Short said via telephone in Hong Kong, where she owns a Christian publishing firm with her husband. He wanted to go as a Christian but not do anything untoward or unwise because it is a very closed country. The world knows that. He's not cavalier in any way, but he is a man of faith. It is. The Alpine ski team competed at the ECSC regionals where they were unclear what changes in any Short. But Mrs. Short may face in a case where parallels. North Korea last year sentenced American missionary Kenneth Bae to 15 years hard labor after convicting him of trying to overthrow the state. Efforts from Washington to secure his release have proven unsuccessful on Tuesday. A United National panel chaired by former Australian High Court Judge Michael Kirby issued a damning report on North Korea's wide-ranging human rights abuses under leader Kim Jong-un, including a lack of religious freedom.
A couple was stoned to death for adultery in a remote area of Pakistan's western Baluchistan province in official stead, leading to 6 men being held on suspicion of murder. The couple were believed to be in their 30s and were both married to each other, People says Sarfaraz Bugti, Home Minister for Baluchistan. The woman's father and brother and the man's uncle and father have been arrested, along with a cleric believed to have issued the order to kill them on the weekend. A man related to the cleric is also being held. Mr. Bugti said on Monday, "It's a shameful act and the people involved stoning the man and woman will be brought to justice." The woman's body is set to be exhumed on Tuesday for examination. Mr. Bugti said authorities are still searching for the man's grave. Mr. Bugti said he ordered the local police chief in the couple's home village of Loralai to be dismissed for not taking action when the killings occurred. In many rural areas of Pakistan, gatherings of tribal elders issued death sentences for couples or women deemed to have offended the conservative culture. Killings such as these are illegal in Pakistan. However, the police force often ignores them. Even when the cases are brought to court, the conviction rate is only around 5 to 10%, and the cases can take years to be heard. Women's rights group, the Arat Foundation, says it tracks around 1,000 cases of honor killings per year just from the media reports. The actual number is likely to be much higher.
Is your IQ score a real representation of your intelligence? After all, IQ does stand for intelligence quotient. Researchers such as Richard Nisbet, a professor of psychology at the University of Michigan, told us that an individual's IQ score doesn't exactly measure what we think it does. In reality, the test doesn't measure your practical intelligence, creativity, or curiosity, but rather your emotional readiness. Lisa Van Germet, a gifted youth specialist, notes that in the big picture, a person's IQ is just one part of who they are, rather than an ultimate definition of their aspirations. Take, for example, 3-year-old Alexis Martin, who at this age reads at a 5th grade level and has taught herself fluent Spanish using her parents' iPad. Martin boasts an IQ of over 160, well above her age group average of 100. According to Nisbet and Gemet, this doesn't mean that Martin will grow up to be a genius, but rather will have a far more likely of probability to do so than an individual with a lower IQ. As a representation of an individual's reasoning and problem-solving abilities, the IQ thus serves as a starting point for gauging true intelligence.
That's it for the news this Sunday evening. Please join us next week for continued reports on local, national, and international news. This is WCKN. Have a nice night, folks.